And we're back. Game number 2 of our leadoff best of 3 of the day. Dignitas matching up against Alliance, and Alliance putting the loss on them quick, fast, and in a hurry in game 1. Just about 17 minutes, all the time it took to hang that loss on them. And, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They go ahead and grab up 2 of the biggest heroes in terms of that success in game 1. Windrunner and Bounty Hunter. Now, Bounty was played exceptionally well by Bulldog, and usually you talk about that, the fact that he was roaming pretty much from 5 minutes in. Didn't spend a lot of time in lane instead, got a quick 6 off of nothing but effective roaming, effective pressure, and a lot of early kills. But when you have a Windrunner who finishes up 8-3 in a game that only lasted 17 minutes, and Ake was ahead in terms of net worth, or not Ake, but EGM ahead of in net worth as well as GPM by the time all was said and done, and that's with Loda relatively free farming the entire time. Yeah, that's kind of the storyline, and I guess Alliance, after the initial ban, said, you know what, I'll bet they're going to ban that Windrunner in the second phase. Didn't give them the opportunity to do so. Dignitas snags up the Mirana for the second game in a row. Clockwork, though, they're going to take that this time around, and hopefully they'll find some more success than they did with the bat. I'm AC, joined once again and as always by Ben Merlini Wu. And Ben, I mean, Dignitas, they're going back to the Mirana, but what do they need to change? I mean, we touched on that as we were exiting game 1. And as you said, and I think it's a very salient point to make, and it's one of those things, certain players you can lose and have a stand-in, and maybe you could it'll just cause one shift. But the fact that they're lacking who they lack today in 1-4-3-7, and Arteezy, of course, the mid player, it has caused an entire shift in the way their lineup is playing. And I think we really saw how big an effect that can have in game 1.
Yeah, Korok's not really like the space creator for their team. He's mostly just a farmer, and they're like late game insurance, and then he comes in and cleans up, and he's their like snowballer, I'd say. And he just doesn't do that well on heroes like Clockwork and like Batrider, like we saw last game. And they may run into the same problem where they're going to put Korok in a side lane solo with Clockwork, which he actually does not do too well on, and then Arteezy on a solo mid, and then Infinity on a support end. They're just going to have the same problem as last game, where they're probably going to lose a lane that they shouldn't, and then after that, there's just Bounty Hunters got way too much out of it, roams to all the other lanes, and then they're just forced to react to Alliance, and they just fall too far behind. They can't get into that situation. They should have had a fairly easy time in their lanes last game. Should have been able to pick up a couple easy kills, and none of that happened. So I think they just need to secure the laning phase, make sure they don't fall too far behind in the first like 6 or 7 minutes of the game, and then they just play from there.
See, and something that occurs to me is, you've got such good insight in all of this. They are going to grab the Sand King, and this might jive with what I was going to say to a point. When you're in a position like this where you have a lot of players who are playing slightly out of position or playing on heroes that they're not used to playing in competitive, I mean, these are professional players. There's not a single hero in the entire pool that they can't play effectively. The problem is playing against this level of competition on heroes you're not familiar with. It almost makes me wonder, in a situation like this, you pick up Clockwork and Mirana. Those are 2 fairly hard to execute heroes. I mean, Mirana, if she has the right setup, will be able to land her arrows, so on and so forth. But for the most part, the Clock in particular, not a hero who can really afford to get behind and have as big an impact as you want him to. Mirana, depending on how reliant you are on her for damage, what kind of farm priority she has, she's not a particularly solid play from behind hero. Wouldn't it almost be wiser to instead just go with the easiest lineup you can execute, because you're going to have a lot of players off out of their comfort zone. So wouldn't it be easier to just go something like pure five-man team fight? Just get a lineup that the laning phase can be kind to, and then group as 5 and see what you can make happen, as you said, in that 10 to 15 minute phase, and try to knock Alliance out of their rhythm.
I think it definitely would be easier. They could just go for like an early Pugna push strat, which we've seen a lot of teams do recently, or even like a Death Prophet. They don't have any comeback plan with their team last game, right? It's like, okay, well, if you get a nice Song of Siren, what are you going to follow up with? Just one measly arrow, or maybe like a Requiem if Shadowfiend gets his BKB. But Shadowfiend wasn't able to get his BKB last game, and any hopes of extending the game past 20 minutes were just completely dashed by their poor early game. So they need some sort of either comeback potential lineup, which is like a strong push lineup, or just a very strong 5-man like you talked about, which is much easier to execute, or they just need to win their lanes. And I think the latter is certainly more difficult to execute than the former, but looks like they're going with that again, and it's something that they're more comfortable with. I wouldn't say it's easier to execute, or it's easier to like win your lanes, but it's something that teams always try and do, because you don't always have to rely on 5-man to win games. Although it does work very well for teams like LGD China,
Yeah,
or the ex-LGD China.
See, I'm just I'm afeared. I am afeared for Dignitas a little bit. They've got 3 excellent single target initiators: Storm Spirit, Mirana, and Clockwork, and that's great. But again, they have to play that to such a high point of precision that Alliance, when you compare it to what Alliance has going on, they're probably going to start to roam the Bounty Hunter again. We saw in very, very clear terms just how good EGM's Windrunner can be, even if he does start to roam early. They have so much 5-man potential already. Dragon Knight fits into just about any lineup. He's going to be an anchor hero. Kunkka's going to allow them to fight offensively or defensively every 60 seconds and do so with confidence once he hits level 6. Crystal Maiden, of course, an excellent roamer as well. You factor her and Bounty Hunter in, and the mobility of a Windrunner and how good EGM is at getting a lot out of that hero early on, both in the laning phase and as the laning phase begins to break down. And you've just got a bunch of heroes on the side of Dignitas that don't do well if they fall behind, if they get ganked.
They switched up heroes up this time. So I have a lot more faith in Dignitas. Yeah. They gave Korok Storm, and they put Infinity on the Clockwork. So things are already starting off on a much better foot than last game, even if their lineup seems, not the greatest.
I mean, like I said, it just... If any of these heroes fall behind, say the Clock has a bad start. Clock, of course, he'll still have Hook, he'll still have Cogs, but he's not going to be very survivable. He's not going to be that terror you want him to be. Storm Spirit, if he's late to an Orchid, his potential to have an effect on the mid game begins to fall off very, very hard. Same with the OD. OD, a squishy hero, doesn't have any real escape mechanism. He can delay things a bit, of course, with Astral and Prism, but with the roaming potential out of Alliance, I just feel like they've got a lot of big targets they can go after. I mean, the Storm in particular, depending on where he's going to end up going, and of course will be RTZ taking the OD mid, so Korok most likely going to take a solo safe lane, one would imagine. Until he hits 6, he's easy to pick off. They do have some innate survivability just in mechanics of the heroes. Bleak, of course, with Leap, isn't that great of a target, and Storm, once he does hit 6, is a little bit tougher to lock down, but... I mean, it's not to sound fatalistic. It just Alliance has, to me, an easier lineup to execute. They play better from behind, and they have a come from behind mechanic in Bulldog's track anyway. So they just feel a lot more stable, which is troublesome to me in terms of Dignitas and all of the problems we've enumerated in terms of how their lineup is functioning with the absence of 1-4-3-7.
Well, it looks like they're actually doing trade lane with Clock, which is very unusual, but not as unusual as a safe lane Dragon Knight. And I mean, yeah, their lineup's like meh, but if they can get off to an early lead, they're just very snowbally too. An early mech on OD, early Blink Dagger on Sand King, an early Orchid on Storm Spirit, or I've seen Korok Rush of Bloodstone too. Like any of those will do very well. And Alliance, I mean, they're not really that great at like taking sustained fights. I mean, if Loda drops early, they don't really have that much of a reliable stun. Kunkka's nice and all, but after the ship effect wears off, they're kind of very vulnerable too. So the longer to fight Dragon, I think Dignitas, especially with like the OD Storm Spirit combo, he's gonna have a lot of mana to do whatever he wants.
I completely agree with you there. That's when you look at Alliance again, they have a lineup that can team fight very quickly and very efficiently. But Dignitas does have some punching power if they can keep all of their heroes on par with farm, on par with levels. If they don't fall behind, they're going to be able to give Alliance some trouble, especially if they're able to keep the Dragon Knight down a little bit. They don't even have to like shut him down or anything. Just try to keep him down. And we could see Dignitas not wanting this laning phase to get off at the same start it did last time and then falling behind. They've got Demon plus Bleak in mid looking to pick off this Kunkka. Kunkka, of course, with no escape mechanism. He is a little bit tanky at level 1. We can already see 644 HP with a Stout Shield. But if they can make something happen here, this would be a great way to start.
First right now.
And here we go. There's the Astral Imprison. Here comes Demon from behind. Burrow Strike. Waiting on it. There it is. And the follow-up from Bleak. That's going to be a first blood and a great way to start game 2. Here for Dignitas, and they even gave the kill to RTZ. Excellently executed.
Yeah, this is what happens when you don't give them puck. It's just much more difficult to survive, and they know that. And not that Kunkka's not S4's type of hero, it's just that sometimes Alliance, actually most of the time, they just leave S4 off to starve in mid, especially against roaming supports. And it looks like Bleak and Sand King are roaming bottom too. Do they have Sentry Wards on them? They have a Dust on Sand King, so they are prep to kill Admiral Bulldog. Oh, nope. No dust popped, and looks like everyone will just walk away.
Yep, they spotted it out, and probably the right call. We're going to see... I just heard an arrow go off. Oh, who are they trying to chase
EGM
down?
is so dead.
Screw Ed. And there you go. Didn't think they knew where he was. They certainly managed to track him down. Win run, TP, nope. Remnant, all it took to make it 2-0. And Dignitas, I'll tell you what, they've come out determined. They are going after what we knew they would and what you said was going to be essential, and a win in the laning phase.
It's not like completely unreasonable that they're catching Alliance off guard. Alliance just had really good rotations last game, and Dignitas is the one that's making the rotations this game, from the triple lane starting off on top, and then them rotating mid, and then them rotating bottom. They're forcing Alliance to react to them, which is exactly what Alliance did to them last game. So I think Alliance, they just need to scout out the ganks.
This is so predictable. Bulldog once again finds the courier. Watch him. Yeah. I mean, like, it's so predictable. I mean, you see that was coming out to get the bottle, and you have to watch that. I mean, Bulldog is going to do that, and Ake is actually cogged in, eating some damage here. Loda comes forward, going to try to save him, spins the Dragon Tail, and that'll allow Ake to salve up. So Infinity by himself, holding his own. He's sitting just short of level 4. He's actually opening up an experience lead, and Ake, even on the Crystal Maiden, just not effective enough to zone him out. Now in mid, we're going to have a rotation. Arteezy in trouble. Bulldog not going to be able to dive him out. The Sacred Arrow went off just in case he had decided to. And Bleak's going to go ahead and leap and try to grab him. Couple of auto attacks might be enough, but with no detection, he goes under cover of Shadow Walk.
If he had dust, there goes the dust. Admiral Bulldog does not get revealed. Yeah, if Bottom had the dust, I'm pretty sure they would have gotten the kill there.
Yep. So loss of the courier definitely hurts Arteezy a lot, as he's trying to bottle Crow up here. And, you know, against the Kunkka in particular, who has 2 points in the Tidebringer, that harass off of Tidebringer really is just so tough to deal with when you don't have a reliable source of regen.
I think Korok probably got a bottle too. Actually, I don't know. He only has 12 CS on bottom, which is surprising considering Clockwork. Yeah. See, Infinity's just a much better solo lane player, I think, especially in the off or side lane than Korok is. He's managed to pick up a kill in the solo lane, and his CS is not that great, but he still picking up a 1v2 kill, especially against a team like Alliance, is very, very impressive.
A little bit of a. You see the courier? It's very cool.
Korok on bottom. Looks like he's in a lot of trouble. Oh, power shot has been missed.
It's all right. Bulldog's right on him. He isn't level 6 yet. He's going to rely on the Remnant to get him away, but that won't be enough. Bulldog doesn't have a point in the Shuriken. Win run, couple of auto attacks, and one last power shot. EGM just so good on this hero. And in conjunction with Admiral Bulldog, it really is just a tough tandem to deal with. Bleak's going to rotate down. Oh, S4 waiting for him. Tosses the Torrent. Bulldog's right behind him. And one Janata and one more auto attack after that haste rune from S4. Enough. And Demon spots him out. We'll catch him with a Burrow Strike. Here comes Korok. They're going to try to get a reprisal kill. Will eat his way through and be able to hustle his way on out. We see the Dragon Knight, played by Loda, has actually picked up a Hand of Midas this time. So Loda playing for the late game.
One thing that surprises me a lot about Alliance is how early they move and how early they get kills. Like, Windrunner was like, I think level 2 or something when they got the kill on Korok on bottom, and S4 like rotated before level 6, and we also saw like Bounty Hunter as usual moving it around very, very early. But a lot of teams just wait until level 6 to move around, which is not necessarily the right move to make. An Alliance, I think, kind of goes past those rules and just does whatever is needed to try and secure an early game lead, and looks like they're doing slightly that. Dignitas had the first blood as well as the second blood, but after that, Alliance completely taking control. Gold lead 1,500 in favor of them, and with the Midas pickup, it's gonna get out of control.
And this is something you and I talk about so much, Merlini. It's not enough to get kills. I mean, it's, you know, the old saying is, you know, kills don't matter in Dota. And, you know, to a point, that's true. How many times do you see big matches end with one team 10 kills ahead but still taking the loss? It just happens sometimes. But they can matter so long as you're getting secondary and tertiary objectives out of it. Like, what are you doing with your
on
kills?
Bottom, but there is J-Hood just waiting there.
Yep, here comes Demon. Korok eating a lot of damage. Oh, power shot will be enough. He's going to Burrow Strike in, but now he's taking some damage. Does have Sandstorm, so should be able to make it away safely. He actually has a Dust on him as well, so if they can ever catch Bulldog by himself with the rotation, they'll be in good shape. Infinity might get dove here. Ake has Frostbite, but opts not to spend it, and Loda not having enough mana to follow it up, most likely the reason.
They need sentries on bottom to protect Korok. Like, Korok was off to a decent start, especially since they killed EGM, but like, he is still suffering very heavily in terms of experience right now. Only level 5, very close to level 6, but also the courier dying too. As you talked about, I just heard him. The courier just respawned maybe like a minute ago, and he did buy his bottle, but it was just sitting on the dead chicken for a good 3 minutes.
Right.
Infinity looking for a kill on Aki right now.
Trying to track him down. He is level 6. Won't spin the hook, though. Not feel. Oh, he actually did already spin the hook. That was on cooldown. Not sure what he shot it at, but Ake trying to avoid him. Load in the meantime, finding his farm. He's sitting atop the CS board, certainly where he wants to be at 42.
Oh, is he going to get caught by...
Yep. Battery assault, cogged in, and Ake going to end up dead. We'll do what damage he can, trying to hope for a rotation for a return kill. Loda goes into ulti, but with no mana to spend on Dragon Tail.
If he didn't ulti there.
Yep. So maybe a little bit of a mistake. Bounty Hunter, wow, they actually managed to kill off Demon again down at bottom. So Bulldog off of that. He's coming up on level 6. We can already see. Infinity's having a great game. He's sitting at 2-0. But Bounty at 1-0. Here we go. In mid, Arteezy will fall back. And S4, not having a Tiebringer up, will take the chance, but not going to happen. Just action all over the map right now. Infinity's having a great game. Between EGM and Bulldog again, though, they're sitting at 3-1. So great job out of those two as a team.
Yeah, Infinity really holding them together in this mid game. And, I mean, he's getting things accomplished 1-on-2 on top. And the other 4 heroes should be able to just, like, crush the other side of the map. But Admiral Bulldog, as usual, is just causing tons and tons of trouble on his Bounty Hunter.
Yep, that, you can't really underestimate that courier kill and what that costs them. Kunkka finds a double damage. They're going to have Ake there and Bulldog sitting behind. Bulldog just short of 6, so won't be able to use the track, but this could be very troublesome for Arteezy and going to be spotted out. There's the Astral Imprison. Bulldog's right on him, though, to get the slow off. Here comes the hook. Counter initiation out of Infinity, and the ulti secures the kill. So Dignitas sniffing that one out, and they might get S4 as well. Burrow strike from Demon, follow up with a rocket flare and a couple of auto attacks. And Dignitas punishes the aggression of Alliance. 6-4 now the score.
Infinity again with the hook shots, just at the right place at the right time. 3-0-1 on him. He has a robe. I guess he is just going to rush a blade mail, I suppose. Hand of Midas up on OD too. So now the gold lead dipping back in favor of Dignitas. And I mean, aside from the chicken kill, it's only a 1,000 gold difference, a little bit less. But Alliance pretty close to having track on Admiral Bulldog. He's level 5.5 right now.
I'm not sure how I feel about this Midas pickup on OD. I mean, you want to try and do something about Loda having gotten his Midas so quickly, but this isn't a very timely Midas. Comes out in about 9 minutes, not the worst time in the world. We'll hold that thought as we do have Ake and Bulldog setting up shop here in mid. It looks like Ake was spotted by Infinity, though, as he was on the high ground. Certainly spotted now. He's got a hook in 7 seconds. Can't shoot it now, and because of that, Ake will survive. S4 is going to run right into him, though. The immediate battery assault drops the cogs, trying to retreat, and Torrent dodged. It's very good instincts from him, anticipating it, seeing the animation, and knowing it would be on the low ground. So a little bit of movement here in mid, but so far nothing has come of it. S4's there again, has boat off cooldown. Bulldog hanging near the back. There's going to be an Astral Imprison to just disjoint things a little bit. And Arteezy still going to be the target here.
But meanwhile, EGM versus Korok and Bana has been relatively quiet. Storm Spirit, he's doing fine. He is 2 levels behind EGM right now, though. Oh, and they are coming with Bleak. Is he going to be able to hit an arrow, though? This is a hard support, Priestess of the Moon, not Bleak's usual role.
And Loda in trouble at top. Infinity's right there on him. Has a rocket flare, drops the cogs. Rocket flare not enough, though. In the meantime, Mirana does get the kill on EGM. Loda manages to escape, so sorry about that for our viewers. I hate it whenever you have them on different sides of the map. Very tough to pick one to focus on that time, though. Loda brought down the Torrent actually off the mark, and here comes the boat trying to anticipate Korok's movement. It's going to be way off the mark. Here's a rotation, and Bleak's there as well. Infinity has doesn't have a hook. We'll have to...
Needs a jump.
Yep. The leap would certainly help. S4 going to be able to bottle.
No jump there. Jump pool. Even if you're out of mana, you follow in with a arrow. That's an easy kill. Actually, he doesn't have enough mana for arrow.
Yep.
But they're going in for round 2. No boat this time, though.
And Bulldog right there. Nice shackle. Didn't latch, though. That'll allow him to jump, so a little bit of unfortunate positioning for EGM, but he got him with the Tidebringer. And Bleak's going to be X'd, brought right back. Oh, he spit the leap. Good save from Infinity. Will end up being able to get a kill on S4 because of it. Here comes Bulldog behind him. No Shuriken toss. They get Infinity. Shuriken toss got the kill behind the lines, while a nice trade. And up at top, let's see. Arteezy, 1 auto attack, not enough. Ake's there. We'll have Nova up in a minute. 1 more. No, he does get him with a frostbite. So just like that, a well-won advantage, or at the very least, a well-won bit of momentum from Dignitas here in the first 12 minutes or so. completely reverses its course, and they had cut that lead down to about 1,000 for Alliance, now heading steadily in the opposite direction, down to where it was before.
Yeah, and like Loda hasn't really been doing anything all game, and once he gets his armlet, he's going to start contributing to fights, because Dignitas have been picking fights mostly just like with all of their heroes, and they don't really have a hero that's like heavily farming up. I mean, Arteezy kind of with his Midas, but he's still not that high in terms of net worth. They finally have a Sentry Ward down for Admiral Bulldog, so they will be able to scout things out.
See a lot of damage being done here, and here comes S4. Thought they might try to dive it. Oh, he misses the hook. Split the wickets. And down at bottom, Storm Spirit's actually going to be able to get the kill. And EGM should be able to track down at least one. Will he be able to get him? Oh, there's a track on him.
J-Hood once.
Bottling up. And in the meantime, at top, it looks like we have a kill. Korok will be shackled, so they'll be able to make that happen there. And gets the kill. That was a track kill there as well. But yeah, like you said, J-Hood will come back in. Can he right-click him down? Nope. One auto attack. So Demon a little balls out, and balls deep there, really. And S4 still taking damage from Arteezy at top. Will be right-click down. He's got a double damage, trying to lose him in the trees. Goes to hide. Oh, nope, drop the ult. I was going to say, might get away, not the case. 11-12, Dignitas does trail in kills. But we're beginning to see the track gold pile up a little bit. Even though that trade wasn't horrible for them, the advantage still moving in the direction of Alliance.
Having that mech for Admiral Bulldog definitely paid dividends for them right there. Like EGM, again, with a super early mech. He has Phase and mech and Rogue the Magi, and 5, 2, and 3, another standout performance from EGM. He's just been involved in many of the fights.
And we can see Bulldog hiding out in the corner. Here's a dual rotation. EGM and Bulldog are down there. They sent Bleak in to help Korok, and he hasn't been spotted yet. And Korok under a little bit of pressure. Doesn't have a whole lot of mana at his disposal, so he has to be very, very judicious in his usage of Ball Lightning. Otherwise, he's going to find himself stranded. And Bulldog going to go ahead, loop back around, going to head back behind the tower, see what he can see. Korok right there. There's a ping out in mid on the haste rune. But for right now, both teams seem content to just fall back and farm a bit. But Loda, as you said, getting closer and closer to that armlet. That's going to be a problem when that comes out for Dignitas.
Mm-hmm. I mean, technically, he could be going HOD to stack. So I'm not exactly sure. Oh, no, he has something coming out on chicken. Oh, it is HOD to stack.
Huh. All right.
Or farm. I mean, I think if they wanted to like do super hard farmer, they could have done like Alchemist or something, because he ramps up a lot faster. But I guess Dragonite is safer in case they want to fight early. This in the middle.
Yep, Infinity caught with the X. Here comes the boat. Shackles there to hold him in place. Nice teamwork, and Demon's there. They have no detection, so he's safe for the moment. Korok is going to TP in, and Arteezy walks his way up. They caught him out.
Detection for Admiral Bulldog.
And Alliance getting back into position. They've got 4 there, so this could be a big fight. We see the Burrow Strike spent by Demon. Has to watch his mana consumption if he's anticipating any kind of a fight. Loda in the meantime, though, and this is what Alliance does. They make you account for them in such a big way every time they move and every time they collapse somewhere, and it frees up farm for their carry. There's going to be the X onto Arteezy, caught out, torn it, and the arrow will catch Ake. EGM's going to look for a shackle when he can, but here comes the epicenter. Korok comes in, and they manage to kill off the Crystal Maiden. EGM got off the shackle, will be imprisoned, though. S4 there doing what damage he can. Torrent caught Korok. EGM comes out, will wind run to try and secure himself some safety. S4 burrow struck, and will finally drop.
Where is Loda? They need Loda so badly.
Here comes the hook from Infinity. They're going to catch EGM trying to mech through it. Not going to be reality, though. S4 back up already off a buyback. Here's the boat. Infinity will be caught with this. And a couple of right clicks will be enough. In the meantime, the fight's pursued out, and we see Bulldog managing to get a track kill on the Sand King. Throws out track again. Arteezy not in real good shape to fight Loda. You ask, what's he doing? He's split pushing top. Look how low that tier 2 top happens to be. So an absolute throwdown here in mid, and at the end of it, it remains essentially the same. Dignitas trailing by 1 kill, and that's actually a big loss for them, given that they have Admiral Bulldog. Even though they traded even in all of those fights in mid, they actually lost gold and lost a lot of damage on this tier 2 top.
Yeah, I mean, if Lotus shows up there, he's like stuns like 2 or 3 times, and they just absolutely crush him. Like, they almost beat him out 4-on-5. I mean, it was kind of 5-on-5 because Kunkka bought back, but not a true 5-on-5. So, yeah, I mean, it's nice and all to get your DK stacked and all, but they could just like take a huge commanding lead right now just by being able to kill them once or twice. And Korok.
Okay, Vortex back. Bulldog's there. Nice ulti uphill. Does a lot of damage with the follow-up mech. And we're going to see another track kill. They may trade Ake for it. Bleak's going to be... No, he's X back. And Ake running into the Roche pit. Wants to sacrifice himself. And Bleak ends up dying. Korok going to jump to the high ground. He has very little mana. And there's the drum charge pop. He's going to bottle up what he can. J-Hood shows his face. And there's S4. Did he get the X off? He didn't. Just threw out the torrent. Korok and Demon forced to pull back. And Alliance just really out-punching them right now. And honestly, that's the term I would use. Dignitas just feels a little punch drunk. They're throwing every shot they have, and they're landing every shot they have, and they just can't seem to crack the facade of this Alliance squad as they come out ahead in another exchange and take a tier 1 mid.
That's so unfortunate by Aki that as soon as he runs into pit. I don't even know what aggro did. Maybe like a Kunko cleave or something like that, but... yeah, Roshan aggroing him and then just bashing him on that first hit, and then he just dies 2 hits after. Poor Aki. He was like, I was like, oh man, he survived all that too. A storm jump, a attempted bottom arrow, an OD ultimate, and then the uphill orbs. I was like, man, Aki's such a champion. I mean, he definitely was a champion, but this is no match for Roshan.
Yeah, Roshan a little too big for the sweet, delicate Riley. Bulldog. Moving under cover of smoke.
Oh, there's a smoke.
Yep, double smoke. Right on top of each other, nonetheless. Bulldog and S4 are going to spot this out. And there's the X. Throws out the track. Follow up. Nice. Oh, hook. Hits S4. He pops the blade mill. Here comes the boat, though, and Bleak actually going to be saved from it. And Infinity. They're trying to track Bleak down. There's a power shot. Here comes a Burrow strike behind that catches EGM, just trying to disjoint things. They just don't seem to have the damage at this phase. Force Staff might be enough to get the Sand King away. Doubt it, as EGM's going to have a power shot and will track him down via the track. Shackle doesn't latch, but buys time for the X into the torrent. EGM's right there. Shackle off cooldown in 6 seconds. Don't know if they'll need it. Infinity drops the cogs again. Ashel in prison, trying to buy him some time. Bulldog's right there to track him down, though. Shuriken toss, doesn't have the mana, doesn't need it. Korok shackled off of a creep as well. Dies in the shadow of his own tier 2. Alliance, little bloodied, but certainly coming out all intact. Another big trade going their way, and down at bottom, Loda doing what Loda does, farming and pushing lanes. He is getting absolutely huge. His net worth is coming up on 10,000 at this point, as 1,800 gold aside from his Helm of the Dominator and Midas, and takes a tier 1 all by his lonesome.
He's not even ancient stacking, though. Why do you get an HOD? Anyways, but Elias is winning with these fights fairly handily now, 4v5. Yeah. So once Loda starts joining, it is just going to be a massacre unless they have some items coming in. But look at Korok. He just has Robe of the Magi, not even one Oblivion staff done. Sand King, 180 gold, no blink in sight for him. Support Mirana with absolutely nothing. Clockwork has Blade Mail, but nothing else coming after that. OD is the only one who's making some headway in terms of items, but still, only Midas and a 4 staff on him. And compare that to EGM, almost has his Orchid on the offlane Windrunner again. Dragon Knight with his BKB, Midas, HOD, and Bounty Hunter with Vlads and drums and a 1,000 gold to boot. They just have everything going for them right now. They haven't lost a T1 tower yet. It's looking ugly.
Yeah, and this is what I was talking about during the draft and what I was worried. Hang on, S4 going to be jumped on by Korok at top. Follow up Burrow strike. It took 3 of them to bring him down, and they actually a little bit of damage from 4. He was and remains so tanky. But this is what I was talking about during the draft. This team from Dignitas, they have to execute. They have to execute well. They can't trade even with Alliance because that's a win for them due to the Bounty Hunter. But their team just doesn't play well from behind. Every hero on their squad needs items to really feel effective. I know.
Ahead, like 3 minutes in.
Yeah, but
that's it.
Yeah, it turned around on them. I mean, you just need items on the Storm in particular. You need your blink up on the Sand King for him to really feel like he should. The clock, as you said, I mean, Blade Mail's a nice pickup. Still doesn't have a 4 staff, though. EGM for the second game in a row finishes in Orchid right around 20 minutes in. He actually had it up at 17 minutes last time, and we could see he and Bulldog, collectively he and Bulldog are 13 and 5. Down at bottom, we see Arteezy dying one more time. That's a free kill for Loda. With that double damage, they're going to try and smoke forward down that way, maybe try to get a double pick off.
And yeah, without Infinity's early game Clockwork play, though, like Dignitas would just be in a hole that they can't dig themselves out of right now. But are they actually going to be able to go on bottom? EGM very hard to kill. He has mech up too. Dragon Knight has Aegis. They are not feeling, especially not 4-on-5.
Oh, they might have. Oh, they caught Infinity out. That's a hero they can't lose. They just need to back. There's no way they can fight without him. Bleak actually got caught by X. And the boat will be dodged, leapt away from. Very nice play from Bleak. But yeah, like again, I think that makes the point all the more clear is Infinity has been the glue that has somehow held this game together for Dignitas. With him getting picked off there, they literally can't fight. And J-Hood going to be able to dodge the torrent. Bulldog was there, but Shackle gets nothing but creeps as Bleak is tracked on the high ground. In the meantime, Loda happy to go ahead and take that tier 2. And they may go ahead and push tier 3 here. They should have mech up. And yeah, they have mech if they want to use it.
Yeah, EGM definitely MVP for game 1 and game 2. Like 10 assists on him, 7 kills, already has an orchid completed. He's just contributed more than any other hero in this entire game. Korok gets orchided out. He is a goner.
Brought back with the X, and yep, there's the kill. So 22 and a half minutes in. Looks like Alliance is about ready to put a cherry on it. And 14,000, make it 16,000-ish gold lead they've generated so far. And, yeah, I mean, this is just a dominant performance. And, it's easy to forget just how good Alliance is sometimes. You see him get pushed to 3 games by VP. You see him get pushed to 3 games by EG. And it's like, oh, they're really good, but just how go up against a very talented Dignitas squad. And really, they have just never for a moment, maybe for a couple of minutes, say the first 5 minutes in this game, looked like they were even pressured or worried at all.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Yeah, but yeah, they can't fall behind by like a 2,000 or 3,000 gold lead, less than 10 minutes in. That's just it's just a snowballing lineup. Korok never really got off to a good start. Like they actually took a lot of experience on bottom because they were babysitting him so much, and I think that really hurt him. He had died like 2 or 3 times before he hit level 6, which is rather unfortunate for him. But yeah, if they can't snowball like that.
Arteezy already very low. We'll have to force that to safely. Infinity gonna hook in. Loda pops the BKB. Just going after the tier 3 at this point. Knows he has the A, just not worried about the damage. There's the boat that connects on Infinity, and EGM goes on a killing spree. The ulti doing some damage. The epicenter. Just look how weak that epicenter is. Ake.
The ghost ship.
Yeah.
Damage.
Ake just, even he's surviving through all because of Kunkka's rum. Track on new Demon means that was a ill-advised buyback. And Loda with his Aegis popped will be back up. He's going to have Elder Dragon form back up in 30-some seconds. Blink Dagger bought by the Windrunner. And down go the racks. And they're going to call it. Well, looking back at this series, collectively, my friend, this series took around 41 minutes. All the time it took for Alliance to hang a 2-0 on Dignitas in their debut. I mean, aside from the stand-in factor, what could Dignitas have done differently?
I think they needed some stronger play out of Demon too. Compare Demon's play to like Admiral Bulldog's play on Bounty Hunter in both games. He just ran around and just absolutely made life miserable for pretty much all 5 of their heroes in the first game and the second game, to be honest. So like he wasn't able to. He got 1 kill in mid, 1 kill on bottom, and after that he just stopped. And they just need to move around a little bit better. And they probably need 1437 back too. Not knock on Arteezy or anything, but they just need their stable 5 so they can work together. Their team cohesion seemed a little bit lacking, whereas Alliance, they fought really well as a unit as 4, but Dignitas couldn't even fight as well as 5. So that really goes to show their teamwork just needs a little bit more work.
Collectively, Bulldog and EGM finish up this game 17-5 on a Windrunner and Bounty Hunter combination. They were involved in so many kills. Windrunner involved in 22 of Alliance's 27 kills. Bulldog involved in 16. And Loda, I think that we've been seeing this a lot lately in Alliance's matches. We saw it when they played EG as well. You'll see Loda in these dominant games that end in 25, 30 minutes. And Loda comes out 1-1-9. He just didn't have to do anything. His team is so good at creating space and making things happen as 4 around him that he doesn't even have to show up the fights. He just generates a giant GPM, and then around 25, 30 minutes in, he shows up 1 full item ahead of the enemy carry, which is basically what happened here, is he had an Assault Cuirass done by the time everything all was said and done there. And that's what prompts the GG. It's just such an unbelievably strong way to play whenever you can get that much ground out of 4 players and 4 heroes. So 24 minutes, 33 seconds. The official game time, again, collectively took right around 41, 42 minutes for Alliance to win both games by the official game timers. 27-16. The final kill score, and Dignitas drops their first series here in their HyperX D2L debut. I'm your host here in AC Chambers. So, unfortunately, guys, we'll have a bit of downtime as I'll take a look at. Yep, it's coming up on just about 10:30 a.m. here on. Yep, hour, 30 minutes, 90 minutes, give or take, and hope you guys will be ready to join us. We are going to have our second Western Series coming up, like I said, in about 90 minutes. That'll be Mouse versus Evil Geniuses. And that's going to be a fun match. And, fun, I hate to say it like that because it sounds condescending. Mal's obviously struggling mightily. They have yet to win a game, if I'm not mistaken. EG, though, showing his flashes of brilliance here and there. And it should be a series they're going to be favored in. But still, Mal's trying to find that team cohesion with their 5. And Mouse can look good at times, so they're going to try to at least be a test for EG as both of those teams try to play their way out of the cellar as we hit just about the halfway point here in our Western Division. Now, don't forget tonight, starting at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we're going to have one of our last 2 play days for the Eastern Division. Tonight, though, in all seriousness, is basically the night that's going to determine everything. LGD China sits at 6-0 right now. There's only a handful of teams, actually 2, that have a chance to catch them. And Vici in particular is the one who can. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, Vici and Invictus, those are the 2 who can actually catch LGD China. But DK still has a chance to make some noises. They're going to be involved in one of our last matches as well. And so, yeah, like basically if LGD China drops their series, that opens the door for Vici, who will be in action tonight as well, and Invictus. And, so make sure you check out D2L.gg for all of the storylines. You can check the standings and do the math yourself. But things getting very interesting here on the HyperX D2L. So on this Sunday, Connie, what other tournaments are running? What can I direct the viewers to? There you go.
Alliance Na'Vi.
Yep, coming up shortly. I wasn't sure of the time of it. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure when. I wasn't sure if that match is coming up like now or if it's coming up later. Hell, for all I know, they could be getting the ready checks now. Soon, TM. AG versus Fnatic. What's the tournament? So the Dota 2 Champions League. Make sure you go ahead and support those guys. Much love. The Naviverse Pro organizations. Don't forget Alliance versus Navi. Kind of a big deal. I'm not sure when it'll be played really soon. Hopefully not overlapping with us because I like viewers. I like having solid viewers. But anyway, thanks again, guys, and we'll see you back in about 90 minutes, give or take now. Enjoy the next 90 minutes and enjoy some Dota. Go watch a stream. Go support some games. See you in a bit. Pro hold.